Hello and welcome to your next lesson. Today we will demonstrate how to set up the margins in Excel to give your document a professional look. We will review the standard options in addition to customization. We will also review the portrait and landscape option to determine which layout is best for our file. This brief but very important information cannot be overlooked. So join us as we review this lesson. Okay, so as you can see, I have an event planner template pulled up for this lesson. First, I would like to review the orientation to determine which fit is best for my document. First, let's take a look at it in print preview. Let's go ahead and say File. Let's say Print. And as you can see, my document is in the landscape orientation. Let's change it to Portrait, then we'll determine which layout is best for our document. Let's go back. Let's go ahead and say Page Layout. Let's get the drop down for the orientation. Let's go ahead and select Portrait. Okay, so let's look at our print preview again. Let's say File. Let's say Print. Okay. And so I do like this layout better, although it is forcing my document onto multiple pages. I think I need to make some adjustments to my margins. So let's do that and see what we can come up with. Let's go ahead and hit the back button. Let's go ahead and say Page Layout. Let's go to the Page Setup group. Let's go ahead and get the drop down for margins. So looking at the settings, I can see that my margins are already set to wide, which is probably why it's moving into multiple pages. Let's go ahead and select Normal and take a look and see how that looks. Let's go ahead and say Normal. So let's go File, and let's go Print. And as you can see, it's still being forced on the multiple pages, but it does look a little bit better. Let's go back. Let's go ahead and say Page Layout again. Let's get the drop down for margins. This time, let's go ahead and say Narrow. Now let's go ahead and see how that looks. Let's say File. Let's say Print. And as you can see, now my document is on 2 pages. Well, let's see where that second page is coming from. Okay, so it looks like we have a line that's being pulled onto here. We can probably make an adjustment on our print preview to get rid of this. Let's go ahead and hit the back button. Let's go ahead and say View. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our page breaks. Okay, let's scroll all the way down. As you can see from this dotted line, it's forcing the second page. So all we need to do is simply to drag this line down, and then that's pretty much it. Now let's go back to our print preview. Let's go ahead and say File. Let's go ahead and say Print. And as you can see, now our document looks good. Okay, now before I wrap up the lesson, I do want to add one final touch. Let's go ahead and add a bit of customization. Let's go ahead back to Page Layout. Let's go ahead to Page Setup and get the drop down arrow. Let's go Margins. And I just want to go ahead and center on the page horizontally and vertically. Now let's go ahead and take another look at our print preview. Okay, and so now that looks better. Everything is centered in the middle and it looks great. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the lesson. Thank you for joining, and we will see you in the next video. So that wraps up this lesson from Microsoft Excel. I hope that you are getting the most out of these level up lessons. Please do let us know if you have questions or concerns. Take a break if you need to, and we will see you in the next video.